Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, just a couple of days ago I brought you a narrative about how the Buhari regime have stated that as a matter of policy they are allowing the refineries, the oil refineries in Nigeria, to run down. This is despite the fact, of course, that well in excess of $300 million, close to $500 million, is actually dedicated towards the servicing and maintenance of these now oil refineries. So the dichotomy between those two positions are addressed in this video. As guys, I bring you this. Nnpc must explain $367 million spent on running dead refineries. So a headline attributed to an organization called HURIWA. So that's the organization pressing for this. The headline again: Nnpc must explain $367 million spent running dead refineries. A headline attributed to Huriwa organization. So now let's now find out what's going on here. The Human Rights Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, has called on the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Nnpc, to demonstrate more openness, accountability, and probity in the administration of the petroleum subsector of Nigeria's economy. HURIWA, an advocacy group, made the call against the backdrop of the reported open bidding process for the Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation contract and a revelation that public funds running to the tune of $367 million were frittered away in a year on the running of the three publicly owned refineries without any of them refining a single barrel of crude. National coordinator of the group, Emmanuel Owubiko, said only voodoo economists would try to justify the wastage of public funds. Owubiko also expressed displeasure that the National Assembly has demonstrated a scandalous aversion for probity, accountability, and transparency. He insisted that the National Assembly was involved in a gang-up against public interest and public good by failing to conclusively determine the logic behind the inexplicable fact that $367 million was spent in a year on the nation's refineries, but yet no single drop of crude was refined in those refineries. A statement by Owubiko reads partly, "We think that it is only voodoo economists that will try to justify the enormous wastage of such a colossal sum of money on nothing. We wonder the kind of unorthodox accounting and auditing process that will seek to justify this monumental disappearance of such a humongous amount of money on practically nothing. We can't fathom how on earth the huge bills of 367 million US dollars could be spent on nothing, and indeed nobody is asking any critical questions, and those elected are maintained at exorbitant cost to the taxpayers to do the oversight duties are so compromised that this does not matter in their legislative calculations." HURIWA, like most patriotic Nigerians, has still not recovered from the groundswell of shockwaves that swept across the country as a result of the revelation that no white product, that is premium motor spirit and dual purpose kerosene, was produced in June 2020 and apparently for the past 12 consecutive months. The lack of production is due to ongoing rehabilitation works at the refineries. In the same period, operating costs for the country's three main oil refineries, which the Nnpc has shuttered pending revamp, totaled $367 million. on the plan to kickstart the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery, the rights group expressed strong doubts that the management of NNPC is capable of adhering to the terms of the contract to ensure early completion and commencement of refining of crude oil because of several public statements from the NNPC that they are much more comfortable importing fuel from the Niger Republic than to do the needful by fixing the refineries on time. HURIWA is aware that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC has publicly opened bids for the engineering, procurement and construction phase of the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt Refining Company PHRC. So this is the situation we find ourselves in now in Nigeria. Look at that sum of money. The sum of money being quoted has been spent on these refineries in just 1 year, $367 million, $400 million to round it off, is more than twice what was spent to build the refineries in the Niger Republic, where they are now importing oil into Nigeria. So we're spending pretty much the sums of money that will build a refinery on absolutely nothing, i.e. they are just looting it, because of course if there's nothing on the ground to show where the spend is, and the money is being collected, then where does it go? We all know where it goes. It goes into the UK account of the echelons of NNPC, and they are all living lives like Arab princes. But then of course now they are now going to the Niger Republic, who have spent their own money to build their own structures to then sell to the idiots on the other side of the road, i.e. Nigeria. So this is what is being highlighted by this rather HURIWA organization now, and what they are now pointing to is the perfect crime being committed against the Nigerian person, against the Nigerian nation. So the NNPC is looting, and the Senate committee that is meant to have oversight over these people are being paid off. So who is now going to hold anybody to account is the question. Because of course the people taxed by law to do these things, NNPC, and there are so many legislative checkpoints put in place in the structuring of NNPC that it should be near impossible for them to do these things anyway, but they just completely ignore their policies and their abiding statutes to just act as will, with impunity in effect. So this is what NNPC is doing. But then to counterweight that and to put in additional measures, the Nigerian structure has also put in elected legislatures and senators to have oversight over the activities of this organization, which is the premier organization of Nigeria. That is the breadwinner of Nigeria, NNPC. So a lot of structures have been put around it, and Senate committees now have been put in place to oversight these people. But then what is happening with this Senate committee? They are also being paid off, because if $367 million is being purloined and disappeared without anything to show for it, without any auditing or any accountability or probity, then of course then the whole of NNPC is compromised, and the whole of the Senate Oversight Committee is complicit. So the perfect crime against the Nigerian person. So who is then going to step in now and put a stop to this is really where the question is, when all of the governmental structures are weighed against the Nigerian person and they are all on a looting spree. Conversations in the comment section. It never rains but it pours within the Nigerian space, an endless tale of grim and woe. This is what we have to tell within our space. Come share thoughts, but before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of what is going on at Nnpc. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.